Hello, good evening, and welcome wherever you're watching us from around the world, either on Facebook or in the Zoom call. And it's really good to be here on a Sunday. It may be a bit quieter this week, isn't it a holiday or something for you guys in America, Robert?
It's a big 3-day holiday, 3-day weekend holiday.
Free weekend. What is it a bit like a bank holiday? Like in the UK, we have bank holidays. We haven't.
It's Labor Day.
And what's that to someone in the UK? Right, someone might not know what that means. So for you in America, what does that mean? Labor Day.
It's another bank holiday that they got onto the calendar, but it's to focus on the laborers of the nation.
Right.
So the working man,
Yeah.
But they have made it so there's so many holidays. There's a holiday in every month of the year. A bank, extra bank holidays. Bank holidays means there's no commerce, but at the end of the day, it is a 3-day weekend. People love the 3-day weekends to go away, travel, spend time with their family. And it's kind of winding down from the summer.
Yeah.
Like one of the last 3-day weekends of the summer.
Well, I want to say good evening to Charlie, Lynn, and Ray, who are on the live call tonight, and some others might pop in as we go along. You never know who else will turn up, but we expect it to be a quiet Sunday today, purely. And I love Charlie saying hello in the chat.
Oh, Charlie, by the way, if you're not familiar with Zoom, in the bottom of your screen, there's a reactions icon. If you click that reaction, you can put your hand up, you can unmute yourself, come in with your camera, you can do all kinds of things on Zoom call. You're not required to do anything, but what you just did in the chat was where you can put questions. We get to those as we can. It's hard for us, very hard for us to follow Facebook and YouTube and all the social channels while we're live. We focus on the live group and their questions, and that's what we do. I see you found the reaction, so that's cool. And welcome aboard. Welcome to becoming a DeFier, because that's what we're here for. We're here to make sure you get your questions answered on Fridays. That's our Q&A day. And on Sundays, we're doing basic training for everybody in basically WordPress, as well as in help me out here, Stephen.
Cadence theme, Cadence block. And the reason we stated before to people, anyone who's new is watching one of our lives in the group, the reason we go with Cadence over all the others, I've tried Oxygen Page Builder, Divi, Elementor, I tried all of them. And the thing I find with them is with their own code editors, it's not as easy to play around with them. Elementor and Cadence are very similar in ways of how to use them. But what I love about Cadence is the fact that if you want to copy an entire page from one domain name to a new one, you hit 3 dots and say copy all content, go to the new domain name and paste it in. It's as easy as that. Same with the blocks. You copy a block, you paste it where you want it. In Elementor and in Divi and a lot of them, you have to export them as a JSON file and then pull them back in. And Oxygen Page Builder, really as well, what frustrated me with Oxygen Page Builder was the fact that it decided to bring out a completely new platform, and whether they're going to continue to support Oxygen Page Builder, we don't know at the moment. So that's the first issue with Oxygen Page Builder. I know a lot of people who invested lifetime deals on it aren't happy because they don't know whether they're going to keep supporting it. Elementor have got now their own Elementor cloud, and it looks like they're going to try and fade away from WordPress in the future. Now this is only hearsay, so I can't guarantee if this is 100% true, but they've got their own cloud-based platform, and it means that, in my eyes, when they move away from WordPress, possibly, that they want you all on their platform. And what I love about WordPress and being on our own domain name is it's easy to edit, easy to use, and you own the domain name, you own the content. Everything is on your own servers, wherever you get your hosting from. You know, with Elementor, if you stop paying, it will probably mean that you won't have access to that content any longer. And so
when they start taking it into their own control,
yeah,
they want to become their own monopoly to take charge of everything that you're doing.
Yeah.
So when you stay self-hosted and you stay, meaning that you have your own hosting and you have your own domain names at a registrar, that's the only digital assets that you can actually own, as long as you keep it registered and make sure that it's paid for every year, or however you signed up for it. You can sign up for it yearly, 2 years, 5 years, whatever. But you can also check when you're purchasing your domain names that they auto renew, and you don't ever want to lose a domain name that's important to you, especially when you're building a brand.
I used to be a big fan of Elementor until one day I went to my site, I hit edit on a page, and it came up with this wonderful little box in the middle saying some content couldn't be pulled from wherever it was. And I spent 4 or 5 days trying to find out what the issue was. And then I paid a dev to fix it. That's not acceptable to me. When an error box comes up on your screen, I expect it to tell me how to blooming fix it, not some weird code that some developer put on there. With Cadence, it works with Gutenberg, but this is why I've become such a big fan of Cadence, because it's similar to Elementor, but it's sort of the menu layouts around the other way. That's pretty much all it is, and it's all drop and drag and click in a box and hit edit and type in what you see is what you get.
It's not clunky.
No,
Elementor got. Let's face it. Whenever you're writing programs to do more and more and more and more things, the heavier the programs get, the more chances are it'll be buggy, and the more chances are things that are going to go wrong in the updates. So there's no question we're staying in Cadence. We're staying right where we are with those builds because the ease of use is 100%. And we've had lots of good feedback from people that you loved Elementor, but once they got into Cadence, game over. Time to go forward.
Yeah. Now, on the Friday call, interestingly enough, and I will probably mention this again on Friday, I talked about a product called Rabbit Loader, and it was meant to have speeded up a site by now, and it hasn't done it. It's done a job on desktop, but not on mobile. So I've messaged their support team to see why that is, and see if there's a way of fixing it. At the moment, I'm saying NitroPack's far better, but that we'll wait and see. It's early days for Rabbit Loader. Anyone who's looking at it, it's on AppSumo, and it basically speeds up an old clunky site. It says it'll speed up to close to 100% on mobile and desktop, but it's what it is. So we'll wait and see with that.
Let me just say this for people watching this as a replay, for people that are just getting started, that don't understand a lot of the lingo that's being thrown around. When Stephen and I started this, we said, we're going to make sure you can start learning how to build mass page websites, becoming a defier by following our training and following what we do. We sometimes make you watch paint dry in our videos because we're going to cover all the steps that need to be shown for people that have never done it. So people that come in with more advanced knowledge than others versus a complete beginner, they have to know what the things are. And we say it all the time. You don't know what you don't know. And that's a stupid phrase in how it sounds. But the reality is, given any technology, whether it's online, whether it's internet, whether it's a new car radio, right? Like if the car salesman doesn't show you how the radio corresponds with you and your phone and all the new functions and where it charges and where it doesn't charge and what the extra screens are and what the settings are, if you don't know they're in there, chances are you're not going to read the manual. You're just going to start pushing buttons until you can figure things out, but you'll never know all the features of that car radio, right? Until you've been seen or demonstrated what it can do. Once you know it can do these things, then you can go back and research. Hey, I thought I could program a schedule or a certain station or this or that in my car stereo. And you can go back and research it and figure it out. But you don't know what you don't know until somebody shows you these things. And that's what we do. We are and have become more often than I thought would ever happen, to be honest, Stephen, the buffer of how technology changes between what's going on online and what you're doing for your website builds. And we try to stay in between so that we can help you guys transition faster in case you miss something, whether it's hosting, whether it's a website, whether it's a new build, whether it's an update, whether there's a Google Analytics update that you may not be aware of, maybe the red flags that you shouldn't be doing to your websites when you build. These are the things that are going to happen, and these are the things we try to stay ahead of as they're happening between Stephen's connections and how often we are online and watching stuff ourselves as we do case studies and do our own builds, and we notice things that are happening all the time, whether it's a exact match domain or whether it's not, whether it's an expired domain or a brand new domain. But we have really, and our group, I gotta say it, Stephen, DFYers have helped our group in the inner circle tremendously with golden nuggets. Every week there's some kind of golden nugget that comes from somebody that experienced something in their builds, in their business, and they come in and share and help others in our group. Now those golden nuggets don't come out until the actual inner circle part where we're talking in the inner circle. We broadcast live to help everybody as much as we can, but the inner circle, DFY Magic Themes inner circle, is where the real golden nuggets come out. And that, what's the going rate, Stephen? $47.20 a month?
Yeah.
The inner circle is a gold mine for anybody trying to get started.
I loved, and I'm not going to say what it is, right? But I loved the one about Google.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and the members shared that with us, and I've tested it on number of occasions, and it's worked. Absolutely worked. All to do with GMBs, but that's all we're going to say on that. We're not going to give anything away to people outside the inner circle.
And then we've also come up with a new, I don't know the proper word to use at the moment, but I'm going to say a turbo boost to the end of the DFY Magic Ranker. Another way to even make it stronger after everything else is built. And that's going to be worked on in the coming weeks.
Absolutely. And the good news is we are aiming within the next 7 days to officially launch the Magic Ranker. I know there's some people in the groups that have been waiting for this to turn up and start happening. And so we're not far away at all with it. We're doing some last tweaks yesterday and some final bits and pieces tomorrow. And I reckon roughly Tuesday, Wednesday onwards, announcements will start going out in the group. So keep an eye out inside of all of our groups for announcements of when. And one thing I will say, when we make the announcement, Inner Circle guys, just to let you know, if you haven't got it and you're an Inner Circle member, you'll always get the best deal being an Inner Circle member. The other groups, when we make the announcement, we'll do a special deal on a Zoom call. And once that Zoom call's finished, that deal will be gone. So, you know, please make sure that you turn up for the Zoom call to find out what it's all about. It's going to be good. Very, very good. Some of the things I've gone through with Robert, it's blown your mind, doesn't it, Robert?
It just keeps getting better and better and better.
Yeah.
And the reality of things to come, guys, it's going to be a game changer. You know, it just has to be. There's just no way around it. So
anyway, tonight I wanted to go through a few bits on our existing site. I haven't had much time this week really to do much on this site because we've been focusing on the Magic Ranker. But one thing I wanted to touch on was this sort of menu bar area. Now, those that have Magic Page plugin, it doesn't all, when you put next field, either in the menu or close to the logo, it doesn't always work in some themes. So to do this properly, what you're better off doing is creating a logo, and inside of the design bundle, which is a product inside of our members area, it basically, you can design your own logos. So I'd come in here, I'd label this as DFY Magic Host, hit create logo, and we'll get started. And this has some AI technology in it. It's okay-ish, but they don't have like tons and tons of variants. I have said to the creators of this that we could really do with a few more sort of areas, but I mean, my sort of work would be business to business, and then we could add a slogan to this.
Can I interrupt you there for a second, Stephen?
Yeah.
Okay, for anybody watching this that is in DFY Magic Themes, in DFY Magic Themes, the site's already built. This is pretty much already done. You can change your own logo as you please. Now, for those, this training is about standard sites that you can build and change that don't have done for you Magic Themes, and it's just in Cadence in WordPress. So this is a specialized training that we started out to help people get going. That for whatever reason they don't know us, but they're looking to build their own sites, and we're teaching Cadence because of how much we love it. And there's not a lot of training out there that I've seen so far that's complete A to Z training in Cadence and all the tips can't speak today, tips and tricks that you want to use in Cadence, because you can build sites so much faster. So that's what this site is. And this training on Sundays that we've been doing is strictly just beginning in Cadence in WordPress training.
And we have kind of touched on most of the stuff on at the start of this. Those that joined late, I put a little thing on the soundtrack that was playing, and there's going to be some Zoom only training tonight, which won't go out in the Facebook groups, and so those that aren't on the live Zoom calls will miss out on some special training, which we'll do at the end. But what I've done here is I've selected 2 colors, and this is now ready to continue. So we come down to the bottom, we hit continue, and I've now got my logo here. If I go, I'm not happy with the slogan, I can change it under slogan. I can change the name under here and the coloring. So I can hit here and go, actually, I fancy being a bit more red. And we can come down and we can rearrange the symbol to wherever I want it. I like it to that side. And then we can search the icons, and they have certain ones in here already. Or if you have an SVG file, you can actually upload your own. Let's look for computers. Let's pick that one. And I also want a different color. There we go. So we've got three different colors now on screen. And I say, yeah, we can be happy with that. We can make the icon bigger or smaller with the size of these. And also make that a little bit bigger. Symbol spacing, let's give it a bit more space. And I go, yeah, I'm happy with that. So now I can come down to the save button and we can download it. And now I've got a PNG file as my logo. And I'll switch back over to here and we go customize. And I want to change out this logo here, so I can hit the edit button. I'm going to change the logo, upload, select files where you can drag it in, and it is that one there. And in here, we'll set this all up. So the alt text, remember this will give a description for people. So DFY Magic HOSTING Best web hosting. Oh. Not sure if I need a space in here or not, but I should go. Something like that. And then the title of the logo, DFY Magic Hosting. But I won't put a caption on, otherwise it'll add it to the page. I'll put something like are you admitting?
Yes.
Cool. So we can put on here, we SUPP supply limited web HOS hosting. Maybe it should be 2 words. We'll do that anyway. Web hosting.
So what Stephen's doing, if you guys don't know, is he's filling in the information that's going to be in the image. So Google will read all these keywords in the alt description, title, and description, so that it gives the image more SEO properties.
Yeah. So on here, the alt text does a description for people who have got either partially sighted or even blind people would use devices that they can hover over an image and it would read out to them DFY Magic Hosting, the best web hosting, and then they'd know that is all about. Now you may end up adding a picture of I don't know, this lady here, and you'd put, like if you're a plumbing company, you'd put picture of lady with hard hat fixing a kitchen sink or fixing a bath or whatever it may be. And so you could just put that description there. What I recommend with these as well is always put your company name in these, so then they'll also know who it is. Also, it's always worth having maybe a phone number that it reads out, because sometimes that's useful for people as well. So you can put as much content in here, and when you hover over the image with a device that can read, it will read out whatever you've written in here.
Plus, the images themselves can be a ranking factor in Google by themselves.
Yeah. So I've now done select, and if I want to, I can drag this in a bit more just to remove some of the white areas on there. Crop image. And now it's added my image in there. I'm going to hit publish. And we just let this finish. And now I'm going to click the X. And it's not the very biggest image up there. So maybe I need to make the image bigger myself to make that larger. Let's come back and customize and see if there's any options on that image. On logo. Oh, this was the setting here. So I can set this up to however big I want it to be. Publish. Hit X. So now I've got my logo up here. If I want to spend a bit more time, I could probably make it match the background, or even make it a transparent background if I wanted to spend that time doing that. And so now we've got logo on here. And so when it comes to filling out the site, we said last week, make sure it's really helpful to have what you are about in your URL if possible. I don't always put the city name in there, but if there's one available, then you might as well set a site up with a city name in anyway. But otherwise, I wouldn't necessarily worry about that. And then down here, you can put in here your site title, H1 tag, and then somewhere in the content, you want your keywords inside this content as well. And that will help your site carry on.
I don't know what's going on there, Stephen.
I'm going to stop sharing it. Give me a second. We will pause for a second because someone's in here drawing, and I'm going to have to work out who that is in a minute. because we got a troll in the room somewhere, and I will lock them down. So let me just see who I know's in here.
Well, the last two people, well, I'm not going to mention names.
Right. Just give us a few moments while we. Well, let's just check some settings a minute.
I'm going to put the last two people in the waiting room that I saw coming.
Yeah. Who were the last two people?
Lisa and Mary.
Right. Mary, I don't recognize Mary's name. What was Lisa's name? What we will do,
Lisa left on
right.
her own. So okay. I don't know if Mary, if you're in Facebook, we don't know who you are, but
yeah. Okay. Well, we'll carry on then, and I'll reshare my screen. Guys. Just bear with me while I just check one thing a minute on the system. Share time multiple. Who can share? But I know there's a way of disabling that inside of here. So apps, whiteboard, only host. Right. No one else. If you want to bring Mary back in, you can. No one can draw on there now. I've disabled it. There's always someone who wants to spoil lives, and they find that funny, and that's entirely up to them at the end of the day. You know, and so I've disabled the system anyway, so no one can draw in there now. Okay, let's share again and bring this back up. I will make sure from now on that is disabled accordingly. So, okay, so we've added the logo in here using the design bundle, and anytime you want to come back and play around with this, you can. It's just a case, just come back and re-edit these accordingly. We've got the background color, and we can actually make it transparent now if I want to, and I can re-download it. So let's hit save, download, and we can come back again, and I can now come into dashboard, customize, appearance and customize, identity, and we can click in here, and we can now upload the new file. Let's just find the right one. Should be logo 2, hopefully, if it's downloaded right. I'll fill in all of that section afterwards. We'll just see if it's made any difference, whether this has worked or not by making it transparent. Doesn't look very it might be. Yeah, there we go.
That did it.
So now we can publish it. And click the X off. Visit site. So now we've got the same color background as per the rest of the site. Something I love about these themes is anything you want to customize, either in the menu or right down in the footer, we just hit the customize button and you just scroll to the section you want to edit and just hit the little edit pencil button. So now down here, we've got the logo down here and it's showing where the logo path is. So what I would need to do is come back to the media library. Let's go back to dashboard. Let's find the media library, media. And we will then click on here and we will copy the URL, hit the X, and we'll now come back to custom appearance and customize. site identity, click in there. And now, actually, I'm in the wrong place because I was going to just change the URL of the footer. So visit site, hit the wrong button, so customize. Scroll down. Now I can edit this area here, and to change this logo out, I can just highlight this bit of text here, right the way across to where it says PNG, paste in my new URL, and now I've got the new URL in here and hit publish. And so now I've got my new URL in there. You probably want to resize this accordingly for the image, but that is how we can do that. Click X. And so now we got our logo down here and all the menus accordingly right the way across, which we can edit in the same place at the same time. This is the footer menu. And to change those menus around, we just come into the dashboard and go appearance and menus. And we will find in here the footer menu, select it, and then I can add into the footer menu whatever I prefer to add in here. And then to make sure you're on the right menu, what you might want to do is come back and customize the site. Scroll down, and where we got these menus here, we can select the navigation menu. So that's the resources menu. And this one here's the product menu, but you may say, actually, I don't want the product menu, I want the footer menu. And so I can just change that to be the footer menu. You have multiple menus in here as in the footer as well, depending how many you want in total. So that's that part there. Is there anything you want to add to that, Robert?
This is not a mandatory thing that you have to do or be an expert at, but we want to show you things that you can add to. Headers and footers are very, not difficult, but they have certain things that you can do and certain things you can't. And logo always tends to be one of those things that people want to change and make it their own, and that's perfectly fine. So that's one way that you have to do it as an image rather than trying to just change the wording on it. So, yeah. You know, all of this training is based on things that you can do and that you may want to do. But at the end of the day, you know, it's one step at a time. You learn at the level that you're at. You take on the challenges that you're at. And as far as we're concerned, the things that you don't understand or you need help with, you open a support ticket and we help you.
Yeah. So I want to touch on the blog page for your site. So if we come into all posts and all posts, as you can see here, we've got a bunch of posts in here already. So if we come back to the blog page itself and we edit the page, so far there's nothing built onto this page blog wise. So we can click plus and we can type POST, and in here we have a few options which we can select depending on what sort of layout we want with this. So in this case, let's have a look at adding, I think first we want to add a row, just to put a container in here so we can line up a bit better. And then in here, we're then going to search for post. And let's try that one. No, I don't like. I think I prefer the other one. So let's remove that there. Let's click plus. Let's go post again, and we'll try that with title. It might add them once I select them. So let's go to here. Where's the settings gone? Let's bring this up. Post title. And columns, preview. Should bring them in automatically. I don't know why it isn't on this one.
Sarah's question was, how often do you use a design bundle when building your sites from scratch or from a template like the Cadence template?
I use it all the time. You know, there are various products out there. With the nice thing about the design bundle as well, we come back, is we've got all these extra features in here. Come back to dashboard. You got a page builder, you got a stock explorer, video to GIF converter, flexible images, graphic designer, mock-up, book designer, scene creator, e-cover creator, logo creator. I mean, you know, this is something which I've done. I did an ebook for someone on my other account. This is the demo one we got here. If I create an e-cover book and I go, yeah, that looks quite nice, I want to use that. And there's various templates on here. So let's have a look at what I like the look of.
It's definitely an easy bundle of graphics that you can customize. So it makes it easier for you. So the next question that's going to come into this, Stephen, is how do you get the design bundle?
That's it. I'll show that in a moment. Some people got access to it when we did a deal with WP Horde. But I love this because I can just very quickly, let's click back in here. So I can go DFY. I really shouldn't have removed that extra text really, but let's click in here and go. It's going to be too large. So let's click in here. Remove this text here. And go magic anchor and font size. We can make it bigger. Click away for a minute, and I can move it to where I want it. So let's just say we're happy with that. We can render recover. And so you can see you very quickly can create, changing the text on it, an e-cover book inside of here. So, and there's loads of different features in the design bundle. In members.dfymagicthemes.com. And those that don't have it, we are in the middle of sorting out a super package on it. I think there is a learn more button. So let's see what the last price was that they told us to sell it for. Let's have a look. Let's see once we click here. So there's a lifetime deal on it, $297.20, and you can just simply go to dfymagicthemes.com/design bundle, and there's different options there for it. The only thing to know, once you've purchased, you have to, we always keep an eye out for any purchases, but it can take up to 24 hours, working hours, for the accounts to go live. It's not instant because of the way they set the system up. But normally we keep an eye out, so we go in ourselves and set these up manually to make it a lot quicker. So but that's the main design bundle there. I was just trying to remind myself why this isn't showing up the options. Let's look at this a minute. Settings. Oh, that might be why. Let's click here a minute. Default.
So sometimes there's confusion between blog pages or blog posts and regular pages. The regular pages on a site, the standard pages, will become the site URL domain / the name of the page. The posts themselves become an individualized post. Part of the blog posts are going to support the site with extra content. So when you have an important keyword that you want to try to rank for, that may not be on a page yet, an individual keyword that you want to rank, you create an individual page for that keyword. And then content that's going to go into the blog posts are going to be related topics to all of the keywords that you're supporting in the website content.
Yeah. So on here, what I did then, if I remove this block completely, remove, you can remove the featured posts and images, but on here, what I did was I clicked plus, I just typed in post, and there's that you've got some ready-made versions down here. So we can select this one with the images. Because I haven't set the blog posts up properly, they're not featuring the images. If I come back out of here, and that's why it wasn't showing up the first time, it's picking them as they come in. So we can have a look. So I'm on pages, not posts. Let's get the right one, post.
Well, you were editing the blog page.
Yeah.
Not the actual individual blog post.
No. And so this first one here hasn't got a featured image. This is where I've just been playing around with the actual posts themselves, featured image, select featured image. We'll update a couple of these, come back to WordPress. Let's edit this one as well. Let it load up, set featured image. Update. If I've done the right ones, when I visit the site, and we go to blog, here we go. And that's why they weren't showing up properly, because I hadn't added the featured images on the post accordingly. So so that's an easy way. And then as you add new posts to it, the new posts automatically appear on the next one up as you go along. This is an updating page. This is an evergreen updating page. And so you schedule your posts to go out throughout the year, and then they'll start appearing on that page. With our DFY Magic themes, we've already got this all pre-installed. So it means when you do the posts yourselves, that works really well. So, oh yeah, is there anything else we wanted to add to that at the moment before we say goodnight to all the social media channels?
Well, I think you can answer this question because it's related to what you were just talking about.
Yeah.
Let's see where it was. They want to review the steps of how you get a graphic into the WordPress site.
Right. Just to, did we touch on Sarah's question about design bundle and Cadence? The design bundle is purely, does all your designing for you, and Cadence is the theme and blocks built into WordPress. So they're two different platforms. And then adding to what Robert said, posts versus pages. Should you use a main keyword to focus on a page? However, you can have multiple posts on that page. Also use that keyword. Yep. Yes, you can. We're gonna touch a little bit when we say goodnight to Facebook users. We're going to touch a little bit on some SEO stuff privately for the people who are on the call. And this is going to be some golden nuggets for those that are here on the live Zoom call tonight. And it's stuff that we've sort of partly mentioned before, but I wanted to just touch on it a lot more and explain about the advantages of pages versus posts for you guys. So so on all the Facebook groups, we are going to say goodnight now, and we will keep an eye in for links during the week for the DFY Magic Ranker. So
good night, everybody, and remember the DFY Magic Inner Circle. You can message either Stephen or myself to get information about that, but come join us in there, and that's where a lot of the SEO topics, a lot of the building topics for Mass Page are constantly being updated.
Absolutely.
Let's see.